Hi, it's Chrissy, and today I want to talk about dating with a cancer diagnosis. Recently, I was in one of the cancer Facebook groups that I'm in, and someone asked about everyone's experience with dating someone after they've been diagnosed with cancer. Now, I have my own personal experience of what I went through, but it seems that this is a topic that some people actually really want to know about because the National Library of Medicine put out a paper where they did several vignette studies of how people responded to cancer patients when they were single. So I want to share the results of that study with you and also talk about my personal experience, as well as, in my humble opinion, how you can navigate dating while dealing with the cancer diagnosis. So the National Library of Medicine did a study where they asked 3 separate groups of people what their perception was of a fictitious person who had a cancer diagnosis. They asked people who had been widowed, divorced. They asked people in a younger population. And they also asked people what it would be like in an online dating kind of scenario. And what they found was actually pretty positive if you are someone who is dealing with cancer. They found that for the most part, people did not view having a cancer diagnosis in a negative way or in any way that would prevent them from wanting to date them. In the study, they did find that there was a preference when it came to when it was time to disclose your cancer diagnosis. And the vast majority of people wanted that disclosure to happen between the first date or within the first few dates. So people tended to want to know pretty much upfront that you were dealing with cancer or were a cancer survivor. The other thing that the study pointed out was if you're a cancer survivor who's in active follow-up, meaning you're still getting checked, you may be in remission, but you're still getting monthly checkups and going to the hospital, that is something that they would want to know. And that a small segment of people may be hesitant in moving forward if you are in active follow-up stage. But they found that small group of people were widowed people or people who had been through divorce. And in the study, they said they thought that the reason for that was because they were associating that with potential loss. And since they had already been through a loss, they may be hesitant in starting a new relationship with someone if there may be a loss to come. When they did the study with the younger population, they actually associated a lot of positive attributes with people who had cancer, like being brave and courageous. And again, that did not sway their opinion about whether they would pursue someone who had a cancer diagnosis. So that's really great news because as I saw in the post that I mentioned in the beginning from the Facebook group, the original poster was nervous about how things would kind of work with telling someone that they had cancer and pursuing a new relationship. And so this study actually is really positive news for people who have gone through cancer, that they can still have a healthy, fulfilling, loving relationship after a cancer diagnosis. So in my personal situation, when I was diagnosed with cancer, I was actually going through a divorce. So it was just not a good time. I was not going through a good time in my life. And so what ended up happening was I did meet someone new and we have had a very good relationship. And I did disclose very early on that I was going through chemo. My exact words was, hey, I know we're just getting to know each other, but I have chemo coming up next week. How do you feel about that? And that's exactly what I said to them. And it didn't deter them from wanting to pursue a relationship with me. So I've actually been able to have a successful relationship even while going through treatment. And even after active treatment, I've been able to still stay in a healthy, loving relationship despite all of those factors. So I'm a big proponent for pursuing a healthy, loving, fulfilling relationship at whatever stage of cancer you're dealing with. I tend to be on the more hopeful side of the equation anyway, so I actually feel like there's always an opportunity to find love. But I guess what I would say to people who are dealing with cancer and wondering whether you can still date is to go for it. People are a lot more open than you may realize. I think people don't perceive cancer the same way that they used to. There are some that still associate, illness with negative attributes, but I don't think that that's really the majority right now. I think people are more open and willing to date someone with a cancer diagnosis. And just because you've been diagnosed with cancer doesn't mean you have to shut down your love life. Even if you're diagnosed with cancer, life is not over. There's still a lot of life to live, and that includes pursuing a loving relationship if that's your desire. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you did like this topic, be sure to leave a like on this video. But I would love to know what your thoughts are on either whether you're thinking about dating someone with cancer or whether you have cancer and are thinking about dating. I'd love to know what you think about this study. I'll also link the study down in the description so that you can read it for yourself. It's a little long, but it does go into a lot more details about dating and cancer, love and intimacy and relationships. So it's definitely worth a good read. But again, I think it's encouraging news because when you're dealing with cancer, there's so many things going through your head already, and you may feel shy about opening up, or you may not feel as confident as you once did in your body before cancer. You know, there's a lot of things that happen after cancer. You know, I even have like scarring from the port that I had that kind of makes me, you know, that is a very visible reminder of the cancer. So a lot of times if you have scarring and different things to your body from radiation or what have you, it can make you feel doubtful and less confident. But like I said, this study is showing that people are more open. And just because you have cancer doesn't mean you're out of the dating pool if that's what you choose to pursue. So I hope you found this video helpful. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. And if you want to know more about my story, you can check out the video that I'll link to this one. And I wish you all the best on your dating journey. Bye.